If your other spirits don't seem to be working for you real well, then call in one of the Geddes, and there's a ton of them. Does anybody see anything around here they have questions about? Behind you is Donnie Blanc, our snake. We use him in weddings, and his skin goes in healing bags because snakes shedding their skin represents regeneration, rejuvenation. So a couple starting a brand new life together with the snake. Also healing bags, shedding the old, getting new cells, so that we put that in a lot of medical healings and such. So that's the swamp spirits over there. New Orleans needed the swamp and the river to survive. Without them, we would have been devastated. So that's why we do more swamp magic here and swamp ceremonies. So we got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of Catholic representations in here, and that's because it was close to Catholicism. It blended nicely, and a lot of voodoo practitioners practice both. In Haiti, they go to ceremony on Saturday night and Catholic Mass on Sunday. So they would also use the imagery because they didn't have any of their own. So they would see St. Patrick, let's say, with green snakes at his feet. Zimbala in voodoo is a green snake. So they found a way to worship two deities at once. They borrowed the icons. And then also, if another group took over their area, they would, at one point, some of them were not allowed to practice voodoo. It was illegal. So they hid behind the Catholicism, and they were still voodoo practitioners, but no one was the wiser. They got away with it. So that's why you go to these Santerian botanicas or these voodoo shops, and you see a lot of Catholicism in it. They blended nicely, and people do both. Mary and I were both raised Catholic. She still does masses, and I don't. She's trying to get me to go back, but she's not having much success.
What's the history of voodoo dolls?
The dolls, every culture has them. From the corn dollies to the wax fetishes that Catholics in exorcism used to make a wax doll and burn it and melt it down during exorcisms. Some people have wooden fetishes, dolls for fertility, dolls for this, dolls for that. Everybody oversimplifies them and makes them voodoo dolls. But they're not bad. The pins, I know you see pins in the movies. It's like, oh, it doesn't work quite like that. When you pin something, what are you really doing when you use pins? You're fastening, hooking together. So you can take your pins to your dolls and you can fasten money to them to attract prosperity. You can pin love charms on them to attract love. If you want to get great grades in school, put something that represents good grades. Put your best report card, pin it to the doll. Or take an A off of your old report card and stick it to the doll. So you can use them for whatever, or you could take a couple and bind it together so they have a long, happy marriage. You can put pins in the doll. People put acupuncture needles in you, and that cures you of diseases. So you can put pins in the dolls, and every day you take a pin out of the doll. From the hole comes the sickness, and by the last one, they're supposed to be healed. So they're actually not bad. Yes, you can use them for bad things, for hex work, but hell, we can give this one a baseball bat. He can hit home runs like Hank Aaron, or he can bash his neighbor's brains in. It's up to him. He can use it as a weapon or a tool. So this is our little dolls, and you can decorate them all you want. You can put feathers out the top of the head, kind of like your crown chakra. You can decorate them. You can use sequins or pins for the eyes. You can glue stuff to it. Take your own jewelry. You can put your old sock or something on it, etc. So it's not bad. We always encourage people to make it an aspect of you. Whatever you want to enhance in your life, like since you're students, I'm sure, you can make this getting on the dean's list. You can make it for the happiest you, the healthiest you, the sexiest you, the best mom, the best dad, the best brother, the best sister, whatever you need your little doll to do, whatever you need your little doll to enhance in your life, that's what you can make it for. When we go outside, if you see the white Ford Escape, there's a voodoo doll up in the front dashboard. That's Gertrude to keep me from getting traffic tickets.
Okay, so I've got one. I should get another one and put in my car. Does it work?
Oh God, yes.
Okay, I will
Just
get
remember to
another
feed it.
one.
My doll happens to like Reese's peanut butter cups.
Okay, all right. So I need to know what
Once
your
a
doll
month,
likes.
you have to feed it. If you're naming it and it's supposed to be an aspect of you, you know what you like to eat. Feed it that.
Okay.
Now we have some of the spirits did come with the house. Mrs. Schmidt, who likes to walk up and down the hall. We also have Thomas, who comes and goes. Edward comes and goes. A ghost dog named, I think his name's Butch, comes and goes. A guy in a red ski jacket comes to the door sometimes and disappears. We had one that only stayed a few days. I have issues. I will not use what I call an unapproved bathroom. So therefore, Lafitte's is not on my list. Many places in the French Quarter are not on my list. So Mary's house is on the list because I'm here all the time, so I can use that bathroom safely. Except one night when I came back from a tour. I don't know if he followed me home from a graveyard or if he followed Mary home from something, but I was here returning the van, talking to Mary, and said, oh, I gotta go. And I'm walking out the door. She goes, oh, wait, I gotta show you something. I said, what? Can you make it, like, text me tomorrow or something because I have to go to the bathroom, I have to go home. And she looked at me weird. She goes, well, I thought I was on the approved list. I said, you are, but there's a strange ghost in there. And it's a man, and I can't pee in front of the strange guy. And she's looking at me and going, are you kidding or not? And I'm like, no, seriously. She goes, did you see him? I said, no, I hear him laughing because he knows he won't let me go to the bathroom. So she goes, Grady, the dog y'all saw coming in, come on. So she walks to the bathroom door. She goes in. She goes, come on, Grady. And Grady looked at the bathroom and he backed up. And she goes, well, now the dog won't go in. I said, well, okay. I'm telling you, he's in there. She went to bed that night and she said, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., a man's laughing in the bathroom, came through her bedroom, through the temple, up the hallway and disappeared. I said, I told you. He thought he was a prankster. But this is Henrietta. Now, Henrietta's an old lady. She was buried a long time ago, about 150 years ago. She came from an abandoned catacomb in France. She died when she was an old lady, too, because you see how smooth her skull is? When you're born, none of your bones meet. There's a space between all of them. And when they get closer and closer as you get older, they call the seams in its skull sutures. None of her sutures are seen anymore. They've fused together, which doesn't happen to a person until they reach age 89 or 90. So all her skull sutures are gone. So she was old when she died, and she died about 150 years ago. And Mary, of course, went to Europe for vacation a couple of years ago, and I was house sitting, and I've been to the house many times, but I have my own house, so I really didn't need to sleep here. So she said, nothing better go wrong because this is my first vacation in 10 years. And I'm like, yeah, okay, no pressure. You know, that's a lot. So I was babysitting Grady. I brought my little dog Pumpkin, and there's a cat, the snake, so I was taking care of all the animals. And every day she was gone almost a month, so every day it would rain here, and I would just book during the day on the computer, giving tour verifications, doing them at night, then coming home and chilling with the pets. Well, the first week she's gone, she's in Paris, and they get lost looking for the Moulin Rouge, so she circled the same block before she went into what she said she thought was a store, and they said, okay, yeah, it's a store, come on in, but the guy's cooking. And she's like, okay. She's looking around, and she heard a voice behind her go, I always wanted to go to America, and when she turned around, she saw this. It was kind of half hidden. And she goes, is that for sale? And he's like, yeah, I got another one with a jaw. Do you want him? And she said, no, I want this one. So she brings her up, pays for her. She goes, am I going to have any issues? And he's like, huh? She goes, at the airport, customs. And he's like, she goes, I'm walking on her skull. Is it going to get confiscated? And he goes, well, it's not an endangered species. And she goes, that's not totally helpful. So she goes, here's an idea. You just mail him to me. Here's extra money for postage. So he said, okay. She went on to Italy the second week. The whole first week I was here, all it did was rain hard. And we were in the throes. It's July, August, so we're in the throes of hurricane season here. So the second week it dried up and I was all happy. The housekeeper came. I went down the street to get out of his way. Came back and the mail lady's like, oh, you're in time for your package. And I signed for it. It was Mary to Mary. So I was like, oh, she's just shopping so much. She's got to mail it now. So I put all her mail in the kitchen. That night I did my tour, came home and sitting with the dogs, and Mama Kitty kind of walked up behind. She didn't like Pumpkin, my little Chihuahua mix. So I thought that's why she made this horrendous noise. She made that angry cat sound. And then she kind of ran out the room and disappeared. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, Mama, just get used to him. Well, all of a sudden, Grady looked at me with big puppy eyes, and his back hair started to hackle. Pumpkin looked at me, scared. His back hair started to hackle. I'm like, okay, something's coming, and this can't be good. Well, it sounded like the ceiling in the kitchen was falling down in hunks. So immediately I thought, roof leaks, saturated all that plaster, and now it's fallen down in hunks. Then it turned metallic, like somebody yanked out a silverware drawer, threw it on the floor, and then threw the drawer on top. So I thought a toolbox was up there, and it crashed through the floor. So I'm thinking the house is going to implode on itself any minute now. So we waited it out, and it stopped. And the dog's hair went back to normal, so I got up, and I walked into the door of the kitchen. I was like, y'all have to come witness this, that it wasn't my fault. Because all I had was an image of nothing being back there but backyard. Opened it up and everything's intact and spotless. And I'm like, well, we've ruled out all the mundane issues. It had to be one of the spirits. I made one of them mad. But I couldn't figure out what I did, so I just kind of forgot about it and then carried on as I did. She came home and walking up the hallway, she's like, oh, how did all my ghosts treat you? I said, pretty good. Felt welcomed, and, it was really cool. And they were fine, except one night I made one of them mad. And she goes, well, what happened? So I started telling her she's migrating to the kitchen. And she sees the box and she picks it up and she's laughing. She starts opening the box and she goes, oh, what night did that happen? I said, well, it's a Tuesday or Wednesday, the second week you left. She's like, oh, when did this box come? I said, actually, it came early that day. And she pulled her out and she goes, I think she just wanted to get out of the box. I was like, well, if you would have let me know that she was in there, I would have. She goes, well, if you ever go to Europe, Wi-Fi, as they call it, Wi-Fi sucks. And you go to the most expensive hotels and it's not free. You have to pay for it, and they give you like 5 minutes. There's no warning, and it cuts off. So she wasn't sure if emails were coming to me, and she really just thought the skull was going to take forever to get here. She thought she'd be home a month before she saw her again. But he must have mailed her that day because she only took like 5 days to get here. So she's a sweet little old lady.
As long as she's out of the box.
As long as you don't box her up, she's cool. You box her up, you're going to have a problem.
I can understand that.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be stuck in no box. I don't either. I don't even want to be stuck in a coffin. I want to be under a tree. And yeah, I want one that grows something so I can tell everybody that comes to see me to bite me. Does anybody have any questions about anything around here that they noticed? I know it's an overwhelming amount of stuff. I'll give y'all a guess to see which doll I hate the most. Oh, there's a new one there too. One of these dolls really creeps me out. It's one of my black dress.
Probably the sweetest looking one in there.
I think it's almost a baby in her lap. Look at this.
It's
It's not, no, that's little Rose. She doesn't bother me.
Redhead?
She used to.
Sunken eyes?
Yeah, she used
The big
to.
one with the white hair.
Yes. That's Winnie. And I hate Winnie. And I hate these clowns. But as long as I'm near Henrietta, I feel okay. I know they won't let him come get me. Winnie walks and talks, and I don't like Winnie. She comes with one of those old battery packs with some kind of a warped little disc, and she sounds weird. But she did chase one of her son's friends one day. No matter where he moved, she would turn around and follow him. So yeah, I said if she'd have done that to me, I probably would have wet myself and never set foot in the house again. But no, little baby Rose, I'm okay with that one. It's this one I don't like. That one's okay. That one and this one used to scare me. I don't like the baby. I don't like most dolls. I can't stand dolls. Ever since I saw Telly Savalas get killed by one on Twilight Zone reruns, and she looked like Sally Struthers on crack, haven't liked them. Now the song you hear is to Papa Legba. He's called Legba in Haiti. And he's called Labat in Africa and New Orleans, Alegua in Santeria. But he's the one that holds the gates. So that's us with the Haitian temple singing. That was one of our song practices. So you can see the ectokinemic smoke. That's a little sparkly one right in front of Lafitte's. That's a closer version of it. There's another one. Ghost wanted to help him sing. Now that's the Lalaurie Mansion with all the orbs by it. The one right here too. There's a little, remember the gargoyle? That's it.
Oh.
Sometimes it kind of looks streaky like that. And that is the little slave girl laying in the courtyard with her neck. See, there's her little face. So you gotta angle them around sometimes. And it gets a little more solid sometimes. It can be different colors. Okay, now, y'all ready to venture off into the cemeteries?
Yes.
Got my expert equipment, my ghost hunter
Yep.
equipment, which is just for me, a bag of M&Ms and a camera.